On today's episode, we're going to compare what it's like being an American YouTuber versus a German YouTuber. And also, it's my 1-year anniversary of being on YouTube, so let's party! Hello, Liebelings. I'm Mari, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Today, we're going to celebrate my 1-year YouTube-versary by talking about the YouTubes and how my journey of being a YouTuber in Germany is different than if I had started the channel in my native United States. 'Cause there is a difference. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you haven't already. Here on Adventures of Lamati, we talk about writing, living abroad, and everything in between. So I originally got this idea from fellow expat tuber and American in Germany, Dana Newman over at Wanted Adventure. She did a video last year talking about some of the differences between being a YouTuber in the States versus Germany, and even gotten a few other YouTubers involved to talk about their experiences in the countries they live in with the hashtag vlog around the world. And at the time that had come out, I had literally just started doing YouTube. So obviously I didn't have enough experience to really do anything more than just parrot what other YouTubers have said, which is naturally disingenuous. However, now that I am a year in, I can talk about what I have noticed and learned in this time. So today I will list at least 5 differences that I have noticed being an American YouTuber in Germany versus had I started this channel in the States. So let's get to this list. Number 1, how people perceive YouTubers. In the US, YouTube is considered a valid source of income. In Germany, it's not quite so much yet. Germans use YouTube, they consume it naturally. But not everybody kind of sees it as a career or even really money making. I mean, at least in my area, and I live in a very small farming community, like 200 people small, who are more like traditional in a sense, if you know what I mean. So they use YouTube, of course, but they see YouTubers as like hobbyists as opposed to like actually making money. Number 2 is getting people to actually join YouTube for vlogs. Germans are very much the opposite of Americans in terms of being the center of attention. If there is a camera, Americans gravitate towards it while Germans will practically scatter in the opposite direction. You have to be careful with whom you film because you can be sued in Germany if you film someone without their permission. There is a gray area to this topic because you can get away with filming crowds, but then honestly, like how many constitute a crowd? And I mean, to be honest, guys, you really should be careful with filming in general, regardless of what country you live in. If you've watched enough of my vlogs, you'll see that it's usually just me in the videos, and I rarely ever have a guest with me. And even though plenty of times that I'm actually filming, I'm usually in a large group. That's just kind of the an example of that was when I did Moose Visas, actually one of the first vlogs I made. And at one point I talked about Mädelstag, where I would get together with some of the girls in the village and we would have a Bavarian breakfast and spend the day at Moose Visa. And I was with at least 10 other young ladies, and not a single one of them wanted to be in the video. And that's what it is. I mean, in the end, nobody really wants to be in the vlogs with me. That is the reality of being in Germany. At the best, you can get like the back of their heads because then you can't recognize them, and then that also still protects me. And like I said, it's fine. It's just when you live in Germany long enough, you accept it because that's the way they do things here, and that should be respected, and it's fine. And I say it's fine a lot. I'm sorry. In the end, it does mean that I have to be more creative with filmmaking, or sometimes I get a little stuck. Like I said, the Moose Visa video, and in the end, most of the footage I had was us eating or just like stossing, like cheers. So all my friends are like, oh, we look like alcoholics. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we did plenty of other stuff. We didn't just sit and drink all day, but unfortunately that was all the footage I can get because nobody else would do anything else. So that was the only footage I could get that didn't involve other people's faces. So it was kind of, it was catch-22. Whatever. Number 3 kind of goes along with it, and that is vlogging in public. So Germans stare a lot. Like I said, I live in a small town, and small town folks are a little behind in terms of technology, and as well as, it's this small town mindset is not just in Germany, you find this in the States as well. Like, they kind of look at the weird people that kind of the odd ones, the ones that don't necessarily like conform to their small town sensibilities. So I get stares, a lot of stares. But I don't care. I mean, even by American standards, I was considered weird, and I'm really not going to let somebody's judgy stares stop me from doing something I love. And I really love vlogging. I think it's really fun. And also, you know, just for good measure, I stare back. Number 4 is Werbung, or advertisements. Granted, in the States, you are also required to state if an episode is sponsored or not. But Germany's idea of paid advertising, I think, is a little more overreaching. Like I said, in my opinion, for example, whenever I make a comment about my book being available for purchase, technically it would be then considered an advertisement because, of course, if the comment works and you buy my book, well, I mean, it's not paid advertising because I'm not paying myself, but technically, you know what I mean? Like it's so regardless, then that means I have to put the word for advertisement or Werbung anywhere that my book is mentioned. Thus, on the screen when I talk about it or in the description. Also, technically, this should count for all of my social media profiles. So if you follow anybody in Germany, you'll see that a lot. The pretty like almost every post is like Werbung, paid advertisement, even if it's not. I don't know. Personally, I will admit I kind of forget when I don't, but I feel like it's overkill, considering that everything that I do is in terms of my career as an author. So everything is available, I guess. I don't know, but like I said, that's just part of Germany. I think honestly, in my opinion, the worst part about these laws is that they're not actually centralized anywhere, so people can educate themselves. I have scoured the Landesmedienzentrum site for the federal state of Baden-Württemberg, where I live, for information, and there was nothing. I couldn't find anything. It was not intuitive to even find it. I had to actually look, thanks to Dana Newman, at the Landesmedienzentrum for Nordrhein-Westfalen for information, because she had to do that as well, because she lives in Bavaria and also couldn't find it for the Bavarian website. Like, come on, people, like, get your stuff together. If I am wrong and you know exactly where, like, this information about Werbung or whatever, please let me know. Put in the comments below, let me know, because I have scoured and I could not find it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I haven't been able to find it. I don't know anybody who's been able to find it. So if you know, share the wealth. Let us know. Anyway, for the sake of my blood pressure, I'm going to stop talking about this subject, and we're just going to go on to my last point, and that is 5 events, YouTube events and cons. So the US has a ton of YouTube specific events, and I think here in Germany, there's at least one in Berlin and one in Munich. I'm sure there are more, but I don't know. I don't see them as advertised, compared to the States. I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't really been searching so much, just because I'm still rather small, and I'm just focusing on, getting great content for you guys. So I'm not worried about doing the events just yet. But at the same time, though, if you know of any, please let me know. Because especially once we are able to have conventions again, I would really love to go and maybe meet some of you guys. So, but in terms of author-related conventions, do you know that the biggest book convention in the world is in Frankfurt? And I actually wanted to go this year, but Rona. I did actually have tickets to BookCon in New York City, for this year at the end of May, but I was also canceled for obvious reasons. So hopefully, fingers crossed, thumbs pressed, we'll be able to go next year. But yeah, those are some differences, guys. What do you think? I mean, I know I'm only touching the iceberg, just the tip of the iceberg between these differences between being a YouTuber in Germany versus being a YouTuber in the US. And what do you think? What have I missed? Because I'm sure I missed something. Please let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Give the video a thumbs up, because it lets me and YouTube know you like content like this and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions, or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. My space fantasy, The God Queen, is available in ebook, paperback, and hardback, and I have all the links in the description below, including a link for the first 6 chapters just for signing up for my newsletter. And look, there's a Werbung somewhere here. Yeah, right there. Ding, ding, ding. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it for today. Until next time, adieu.